Hello, everybody,
Hello.
and welcome to episode 21 of our Lent podcast. I'm back with Shona. And Shona, what have you got for us today?
Well, we are going to be reading a bit of the Bible from Mark today. It's kind of about taxes, but we're not going to be talking about taxes.
Taxis, like when you need to get from somewhere to somewhere else and you don't have a car.
You're so funny.
I really, really am. No, it's about taxes, which is like money that you have to pay to the government.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking a little bit about that, but we're not actually going to be talking about taxes, so I haven't given anything away there.
Okay, fine. Shall I read the passage?
Yeah, go
cool.
for it.
So it's Mark chapter 12, verse 13 to 17. Later, the leaders sent some Pharisees and supporters of Herod to trap Jesus into saying something for which he could be arrested. "Teacher," they said, "we know how honest you are. You are impartial and don't play favourites. You teach the way of God truthfully. Now, tell us, is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not? Should we pay them or shouldn't we?" Jesus saw through their hypocrisy and said, "Why are you trying to trap me? Show me a Roman coin and I'll tell you." When they handed it to him, he asked, "Whose picture and title are stamped on it?" "Caesar's," they replied. "Well then," Jesus said, "give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God." His reply completely amazed them.
This is a little bit of a strange verse because we've been thinking about the theme of Jesus with unlikely people, but here, the Pharisees and the people that were sent to trick Jesus, it's almost like they think Jesus is the unlikely.
Yeah, it's like the reverse of what we've been looking at. So why are we talking about this week?
Well, so we are going to be thinking a bit more about this verse, and we're going to be thinking about the way that Jesus spoke to them and that kind of stuff. So here we read about how people were trying to get Jesus in trouble, how they were trying to make him slip up. They were trying to trick him, which isn't a very nice thing to do. They even tried to butter him up at the start, don't you think? They were saying all these nice things. They're like, "Hey, Jesus, you're this, you're that, you're that." Bam, here's the trick question.
Not very nice people doing not very nice things.
Exactly. They were being a bit sneaky in the way they asked these questions. They must have really thought that they were onto a winner and that Jesus was going to say something that would go against the law and get him in trouble. But Jesus knew what they were doing. His reply is quite interesting. And I must say, I actually didn't think of this until someone quite recently helped me understand it a bit more. So they were talking about coins, yeah?
Yep, coins.
And have you ever seen a coin before, Dave?
I've seen many coins in my life.
You've seen many coins. And let's think about coins that we have here in England, in the UK.
Yep.
Whose face is on the coin?
The Queen.
The Queen. So if we think about the coins in Caesar's time, as it says in the verse, who was on the coin?
Caesar was on the coin. It was his face.
And Jesus says that's how we know that it belonged to Caesar.
Yeah.
That was the clue that let us know that the coin belongs to Caesar. And the verse that we've just read says that people were amazed at this response. They must have thought it was a clever response. And when we really think about it, not only is it amazing because Jesus was really gracious and forgiving with these people that tried to trick him, there's something else. If we know that the coin was Caesar's because his image was on it, how do we know what is God's? Where do we see God's image? Well, the Bible tells us that we are actually made in God's image. So God's image is on us, so we should know that we belong to God because God's image is on us. Does that make sense?
That makes so much sense. It's like the coins have the Queen's image and we have God's image on us, so we belong to God. That's really cool.
Exactly. And because of that, just like they gave the coins to Caesar, we should give our lives to God.
Wow.
I thought that was amazing. I thought that was a really helpful way of thinking about it. I hadn't thought about that the first time I'd read the verse.
That's why we need people to help us and help us understand.
Exactly. So my question for you today is, how have you given your life to God? Or maybe you're listening and you haven't given your life to God yet. Maybe you want to have a chat about that with the people that you're with now.
That sounds like a great use of a conversation.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Shona, thank you for helping us, because like you said, that could be a weird, weird verse, but I think you've helped us to understand it in a really, really good way, so thank you.
Thanks.
And we have one more unlikely conversation that Jesus has tomorrow. So join us then.
Cool. See you later. Bye.
Bye.